Episode 4 Teddy Awakens. Scene 1 The Final Argument.
Lucy's hand was still there, steady, unyielding. It rested over Teddy's, not pressing, not pleading. Simply present, a quiet boundary that the lever could not cross. The machine continued its hollow rotation behind them, alive but unfocused, like a thought that had lost its conclusion. Arkhon watched the scene tighten around him. Commands had failed, threats had failed, so he changed tactics. "Teddy," he said, lowering his voice, sharpening it instead of raising it. "Look," he gestured toward the glass enclosure. The queen crouched within it, her form drawn inward, as though the walls themselves were leaning on her. The light fractured around her, breaking her outline into trembling reflections. "Look at the data," Arkhon continued, turning now toward the panels lining the chamber walls. Red symbols pulsed across the displays. Emotional surge detected. Volatility index, critical. Pattern recursion, 100% probability. "History repeats itself," Arkhon said calmly, "every time, without exception. If we do nothing, fear will poison everything again." He paused, letting the numbers speak for him. "Do you want to be responsible when it happens?" His eyes narrowed. "This machine is not cruelty, it is the only rational solution." Teddy's gaze moved, first, to the panels. Blinking warnings, cascading predictions, clean and relentless. Then, to Lucy. Her hand was warm, solid, real. Then, to the queen. Pain did not flicker on a screen, it breathed, it trembled. Something in Teddy slowed. The logic Arkhon offered was elegant, efficient, complete, and wrong. Fear does not create danger, Teddy realized. Fear reveals it. Remove fear, and you do not remove risk. You remove the signal. You blind the system that is meant to protect itself. You turn living beings into machines that cannot recognize when they are about to be destroyed. The equation collapsed in on itself. Teddy inhaled. When he spoke, his voice was low, measured. Not emotional, not defiant. Precise. "The system is flawed," he said. Arkhon stiffened. "It assumes that safety is the absence of feeling," Teddy continued, eyes still on the panels. "But without feeling, there is nothing left to protect." He turned then. Not toward the machine, but toward Arkhon. "You call this rational," Teddy said, "but it discards the very variable that gives meaning to survival." For a moment, the chamber felt impossibly still. The reflection of Arkhon in Teddy's eyes diminished, shrinking, losing its dominance, while something else expanded there. Not softness, awareness. The machine droned on behind them, its sound thin now, incomplete. Lucy did not move her hand, she did not need to. Teddy had already stepped away. Internally first, which was all that mattered, and for the first time, Arkhon was no longer arguing with resistance, he was arguing with better logic.
Scene 2. The mechanical death.
Teddy did not let go. For a fraction of a second, Lucy believed he would. She felt the tension in his hand. Felt it soften, almost yielding beneath her palm. Then it tightened. The muscles in Teddy's arm locked, stone reclaiming its place beneath fur and flesh. His grip did not move forward toward activation, it closed. Arkhon exhaled, slow and satisfied. "There," he said quietly, as though calming a frightened animal, "I knew you would choose reason." Teddy did not look at him. "I will," Teddy said. His voice was calm, grounded. "I will correct the error." Before Arkhon could respond, Teddy moved, not forward, sideways. The lever was not built for that. Metal protested immediately. A shrill, grinding shriek that cut through the chamber as Teddy twisted the mechanism against its own design. The resistance was immense, joints screaming as tolerances collapsed. Lucy felt the change ripple through him, the strength that had vanished in the first chapter. The force of the stone-hearted architect, the builder who once shaped the Dreamwilds with certainty and weight, returned, not as rage, but as resolve. Teddy twisted harder. The sound deepened. Metal strained, warped, surrendered, and then, the lever snapped. It did not bend, it did not disengage, it broke at the root. In the same motion, Teddy drove his other fist into the control panel. Glass and circuitry exploded inward, sparks flaring briefly before dying midair, as if the machine itself had forgotten how to resist. The system screamed, not an alarm. Something worse, a fractured, collapsing sound tore through the chamber, the machine's hum plunging downward, dropping into a dying sub-bass groan that seemed to sink beneath the floor, beneath the Dreamwilds themselves. Lights flared, flickered, went dark, the sound that had haunted the 4th and 5th chapters. The omnipresent warring presence, the promise of inevitable procedure. Cut off as if severed by a blade. Silence, not empty, absolute. It pressed against the walls, against the glass, against every breath. Seconds passed without sound, each one heavier than the last. Teddy stood motionless. The broken lever remained in his hand. For a moment, it looked almost ceremonial. Like a shattered scepter, a symbol of authority that had never truly belonged to anyone. Then Teddy released it. It hit the floor with a dull, hollow clatter. No triumph, no music, just weight meeting stone. Lucy lifted her hand from his at last. Arkhon stared at the dead machine. For the first time, there was nothing left for him to command.
Scene 3. The collapse of the illusion.
The silence held. It was not the silence of peace, it was the silence left behind when something that pretended to be inevitable suddenly was not. In that stillness, Arkhon's form began to change. The sharp precision that had defined him, his height, his symmetry, the confident projection of control, lost its cohesion. His outline wavered, thinning, as if the absence of the machine had drained him of dimensional weight. Without its glow, without its hum, Arkhon looked smaller, not defeated, exposed. He stared at the shattered control panel, at the dead conduits and darkened screens, as though waiting for them to correct themselves, to restart, to explain. They did not. Arkhon's shoulders slackened, his head tilted slightly, not in anger, but in genuine confusion. Like a system encountering an input it had never been designed to process. "What did you do?" he whispered. The words were not an accusation, they were a question. "We are now," his voice faltered, thinning with him, "unprotected." Teddy did not answer immediately. He turned away from the ruined machine, leaving it behind him without ceremony, and faced the others. Lucy, Finksy, the silent queen behind the glass, and beyond them, the Dreamwilds. "We are exposed," Teddy said, his voice carried no apology, "and that is the only way to live." Lucy stepped beside him, Finksy joined them, smaller, quieter. But present, the three stood shoulder to shoulder, not as a formation of defense, but as a refusal to hide. Behind them lay the broken machine. Mute, lifeless, reduced to scrap and shadow. Ahead of them stood Arkhon and the glass enclosure. The chamber changed. Without the machine's artificial luminance, a softer light seeped into the space from above. Not bright, not triumphant, but real. The kind of light that reveals instead of commands. It settled over fur and stone and glass alike. In it, Arkhon appeared almost flat. Pale, nearly translucent, a projection with no surface left to cling to. He did not step forward. For the first time, he did not know where to stand, and in the quiet that followed, something fragile and unfamiliar seemed to stir. Not a melody, not quite a sound, but the sense of rhythm returning, an imperfect cadence, human, breathing. The age of certainty had ended. What came next would not be safe, but it would be alive.